Hi there, these comments are for Marcelo, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And you made a comment at my website, so whenever anybody makes a comment, I will answer your question. So you say, hello, I got 15 in speaking, but I need at least 22, 88 overall, so I suppose it is not necessary to follow a lot of recommendations than for getting 26 or more. I'm going to say you are wrong on this. You are so wrong, I can't even say how wrong you are. I mean, I don't want to be direct, but I'm going to be really direct in your case. You need to work really hard, I think, in order for you to reach your goal. Think of it this way. I don't know if you ever thought about it like this, Marcelo, but for every point that you need in the speaking, it's probably about 40 hours of practice. 40 hours. So you want to go from 15 to 22. I mean, you're looking at about 7 points there. You're looking at almost 300 hours of practice that it's going to take, I think, before you reach that goal. So you need to follow a lot of things. You say, I think paraphrasing is a required task when people need 26 or more, but it is not in my case. My goal is to get 22 to 24 in speaking. Again, you're so wrong. All right, but here's what we want to do. Forget everything I've said so far. Let's figure out, okay, what does it mean, your score of 15, right? What types of issues do you need to overcome in order to get better, right? So what I want to do now is let's take a look. I've adapted the ETS rubrics, and I use these at my online course for my students so they can understand more about their score. So you're scoring 15 points out of 30. That's 2.0 out of 4. So it says, although your speech is basically understandable, listener effort is needed because of unclear articulation, awkward intonation, or choppy, fragmented, telegraphic, and frequent pauses and hesitations. It means that it's very difficult for someone to understand you when you speak. So you have a lot of pronunciation issues you got to work on. Now, language use. Your response demonstrates limited range and control of grammar and vocabulary, and these limitations prevent you from fully expressing your ideas. Avoiding the more complex structures, you usually use basic grammar and sentence structures accurately. You express mainly simple and unclear connections among your ideas. Okay, so that's language use. Topic development, your response is connected to the task, but the ideas you discuss are limited. In fact, you mostly express basic ideas with limited details and support. At times, you communicate your ideas very unclearly and repetitiously. Connections of ideas are unclear in parts of your response. So this is what describes your speaking right now. So based on these rubrics here, you have pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, and also developmental issues that you have to overcome in order to score higher, right? So you got to overcome all these issues. And you can do this, of course. Now let's take a look at topic development under integrated speaking tasks, because basically delivering language use is similar, but you scored again 2. So it says, your response conveys related information from the task, but is clearly incomplete or inaccurate. So this has nothing to do with paraphrasing. You're just not able to completely and accurately explain the information as it comes from the reading passage or the lecture. The next one, your response is incomplete because you have omitted key ideas or you have limited development of important information. Your response is inaccurate because you have misunderstood key ideas from the reading passage or the talk. What does that tell you? That's telling you that you're having some problems understanding the main and the most important supporting points from reading and listening passages. That's exactly what it's telling you. Then the last point, your ideas are not well connected or cohesive. In fact, I will need to be familiar with the speaking task you're answering in order to understand what you are saying. Okay, so now we have a bigger picture. Now we understand why you're getting the score that you're getting. Now the question is, what would you suggest me to do? So that is a very good question. I like how you're very specific in your responses, and I can be very specific in my answers. So in my opinion, if you decide to join my course, I don't want to assume that you are, but if you did, here's exactly what I would tell you. Okay, first of all, you need to address your vocabulary limitations. That's the first step. So my suggestion here is pretty simple. Go to the vocabulary part of my course. You want to do several things here. Number one, you want to complete vocabulary lesson 3. This is an ebook of 200 basic words. Learn the words. Then you want to complete vocabulary lesson number 4. That gives you another 500 words here. Then vocabulary lesson 5. Then vocabulary lesson 6. So for the next few months, you need to work on mastering about 1,500 words. Now remember what I said. For every point higher you want to get on the speaking, you can look at about 40 hours of practice. That means that you need about 300 hours of practice. And this vocabulary practice is going to get you working toward that goal. That's my first suggestion. My second suggestion is go to the pronunciation part of my course. First thing you want to do here is you want to complete the pretest for vowel and consonant sounds. That's the next thing you want to do. We need to figure out which vowel and which consonant sounds are making it difficult for other people to understand you. So once you do the pretest, I will tell you which of these lessons are most important for you. Then once you've done that pretest and you studied those recommended lessons, then you go to the second pretest here and complete this one. This one focuses on syllable division, grammatical word endings, word stress, sentence rhythm, intonation, thought groups, and also blending. So once you do this pretest, I will tell you which areas here you want to focus on the most. So that's the next thing you want to do. Remember, this gives you that 400 hours you're looking for. If you work in the vocabulary and the pronunciation areas of my course, it's going to help you with both vocabulary and pronunciation practice, which helps you move your speaking score from 15 points to maybe 22 to 24 points. So that's my next suggestion. Now my third suggestion, of course, is you got to address your grammar issues. Based on the rubrics and your score right now, you need to work on that. So again, I recommend that you complete this grammar diagnostic pretest, and then this will tell you which grammatical areas in my course you want to focus on. And as you're doing your grammar and vocabulary practice, you should keep what I call a journal, a vocabulary and grammar journal, where you can start writing down the new words and you can write down the new grammar structures that you're learning. Now, obviously, because you need to improve your speaking, right, you need to go to the speaking section of my course. So here, you can start going through some of my independent and integrated speaking lessons, and then you can start sending me practice tests every day. And to show you how that works, I just had some students today send me some speaking practice tests already, and I've been listening to them. So basically, you'll join my VoxyPot discussion group. And for example, Mabix, she just completed one of her speaking practice tests earlier today. You see the question here? So she records her response.
In my point of view, I don't think that it's easier to eat healthy food.
Right, so she answers the question, and then I record my responses to her.
Hi there, these comments.
So then I will give her feedback on her score. Now, when I give you feedback on your practice tests, Marcelo, I recommend that you keep a speaking journal where you write down the comments I'm giving you as they relate to pronunciation, as they relate to language use, as they relate to your topic development. So those are some of the issues that you have to deal with right now based on your current score. That's kind of part of my my recommendations for you. Does that make sense? So going back to the course, or going back to your comments here, so also because you're having problems with reading and listening, you should probably also complete some of the reading and the listening lessons in my course. And as you're doing that practice, you should really focus on your note taking. Try to get down in notes the main and the most important supporting points of the reading and the listening passages that you're practicing. You see what I'm saying? So there it is. I hope I didn't shock you too much there, but it's better to be direct and better to be honest than to try to beat around the bush, because you asked me a direct question and I'm going to give you a direct answer. So you're looking probably at about 400 hours of practice to move your score to where you want to be. It's probably going to take you several months to get to where you want to be. You can do it, and it's entirely possible, but it will take time. All right, Marcelo, so I hope that you'll consider joining my course. You can always email me at any time about anything, and I will always answer your questions in a timely manner.